G'day, I'm Rick Huckstep. The rifle I'm going to review for you today is Tikka's T3 Lite in 300 WSM or Winchester Short Magnum. This rifle comes from the Seiko factory in Finland. Now Seiko is a name synonymous with quality rifles, and the Tikka rifles are earning a lot of respect amongst a lot of shooters. As with Seiko rifles, they have a reputation of being accurate shooters straight out of the box. Now, while a typical rifle review would involve pulling it apart, having a look at a few bits and pieces, trip down to the range, check its accuracy on the paper, and if we're really lucky, shoot into the bush, I can actually back this review up with over 500 rounds hunting throughout Australia, and that's over the last 2 years. Now, with this rifle, I've taken sambar and red deer, pigs, buffalo, scrub bulls, and a lot of other smaller animals, perhaps goats and a lot of dingoes, dogs, kangaroos under my harvesting permit, and a lot of smaller ones, cats, foxes, etc. And usually when I'm overgunned, obviously, but this rifle seems to find favour on the quad bike most of the time, along with a lever action shotgun. The 300 WSM is a short action rifle, which contributes a lot to its light weight compared with its bigger brother, the 300 Win Mag or Winchester Magnum. The overall length of the rifle to the muzzle end is 1130 millimetres. Now 620 of those are for the barrel itself, which brings it into 24.8 inches, which is a reasonably long rifle. Now the synthetic stock goes a long way to lightening this rifle up, as well as the quite thin barrel. Now I particularly like this rifle for hiking up hills, chasing deer, but also when I'm on foot generally, because I'm carrying cameras, backpacks, rations and the like. Now this rifle weighs just 2.8 kilo or 6 3/16 of a pound. So it is lightweight, and on top of that I've got this muzzle brake. Now people have asked me over the last couple of years, would I have one again? They are noisy, but they do reduce a lot of the recoil from this rifle. Answer, probably not. You see, that extra 50 odd millimetre gets in the way when you try and load it into the average gun bag, or when you're trying to manoeuvre the rifle around inside of a vehicle, and it also sticks over the handlebars of the quad bike quite a bit further, so it cops its fair share of smacks from trees and branches. Not really a good thing. Still on the stock, you'll notice there's quite a few non-slip surfaces on the foregrip and the pistol grip. I've added a made-to-fit limb saver, which is quite comfortable on the shoulder, and also there are available spaces in here to adjust the length of the pull to suit a particular shooter. All of the synthetic parts on the T3 Lite are made from a glass fibre reinforced copolymer polypropylene. That includes the bottom plate magazine assembly that you see there as well, and also the magazines. I run a pair of these standard factory supplied 3-shot magazines, and they are also synthetic in construction. Now some of the Tikka calibers, such as the 243, run 5-shot magazines. Now that's something I would have liked to have seen on this model. In the field, a couple of more rounds up the sleeve would definitely be more handy for sure. For those that wish, there are aftermarket bottom plate assemblies and 5 and 10-shot magazines available from various outlets, but I just haven't been able to justify the additional expense at this point of time.
If there was a contest for simplicity, the Tikkas would win it hands down. Simplicity is beauty in itself, but importantly it's practicality where it counts, and that's in the field. This is a push-feed action. Now the simple design equals less wear and tear and the possible chance of failure. The Tikka bolts are the most slender in the business, and you remove them from the rifle by depressing the little rocking bolt release on the near side of the receiver and just simply slide it out. The bolts have a synthetic end shroud under which the cocked indicator is viewed when the rifle is in that condition. Now you can get a decocking wrench that fits over the head of the bolt, and this allows you to easily disassemble the bolt, but it also allows you to take the tension off the firing pin spring for when it's stored for long periods of time in your gun safe. With the 2 torque head bolts removed from the bottom plate, you can remove the barrel from the action. That's a very, very snug fit, and you'll see there it's got an anti-recoil lug that sits and engages in the slot in the bottom of the action, and that's a very, very snug fit indeed. The safety catch and the sear engagement are preset at the factory, but you may adjust the trigger weight with a 2.5mm Allen key after removing the barrel action from the stock. You insert it into the little grub screw at the front of the trigger assembly, and if you adjust it by turning it to anti-clockwise or counterclockwise, you can lighten the trigger, and conversely, if you go clockwise, you'll increase the pull weight. The trigger weight is preset at the factory at 3 pounds, but may be adjusted anywhere between 2 and 4 pounds. Now I've set mine at 2 pounds. It suits the sort of shooting I'm doing at the moment. I've had a number of scopes on this rifle since I originally purchased it, and I've recently bought this Burris. It's a 4X series 1:4 by 24 with a 30mm tube. Now in the 1 power, it's ideal for the sort of shooting I do, and that's both eyes open, close quarters on pigs and other game and amongst lignums and trees. And I've got TPS mounts, which are nice and solid, which I'm going to use, and it'll attach straight to the Seiko rail that's fitted to the rifle. I've set it up so that the mounts are spread as far as possible along the tube of the scope, and adjusting the rail nuts up to around about 65 inch-pounds. Close enough. Okay, before we head off to the range, I'll just have a quick word on ammunition. Ever since first running this rifle barrel in, I've used predominantly Remington Tip ammunition. This is 180 grain, and it general purpose does everything that I want to do down the southern parts of Australia up to the mid part. Up north into Big Buffalo, scrubble country, I use 165 grain. These are Barnes Vortex ammunition. Very, very good penetrating in thick hides and also dried out encrusted mud. I've also experimented with some reloading using Barnes projectiles. Now with their 168 grain TSX projectiles, I've used 56 grains of ADI 2208 powder, and their 180 grain TSX projectiles push the best with 63 grains of ADI 2209 powder. Many rifle companies will void warranty on new rifles if you use reloaded ammunition and you get a subsequent mechanical failure. That is the case with Tikka rifles, so beware. For the range shoot today, we're going to use the Remington Tip 180 grain bow tails. Well, here we are, we're back on the bench. You may have noticed at the range I was getting spent cartridges jammed in here, and it was actually getting caught underneath the TPS base mount for the scope. That'll be remedied. I don't want to shift the scope. It's got fantastic eye relief, something like 5.5, 6 inches at the moment, and that's the way I like it. So I'll get to with the Dremel and I'll grind the bottom of that scope mount away and remedy the situation. Here's the results of one of the sets at the range. This is the 19S target from SSAA, and we're shooting their centres around about just under half an inch actually, with the Remington 300 WSM 180 grain tips. Well, those results are by no means indicative of how accurate this rifle can shoot. I've never professed to be an accurate shooter. I'm just a guy that likes good rifles in the bush, and this is one of them. Well, there you have the Tikka T3 Lite in 300 Winchester Short Magnum. If you're looking for a rifle that's nice and light to carry, an accurate shooter, robust, strong,
and very practical with lots of knockdown power. This rifle ticks all the boxes. So for a Tikka stockist near you, check out the distributor's website. It's Beretta Australia at www.berettaaustralia.com.au. But in the meantime, check out some of the animals that I've taken with this rifle. I'm Rick Huckstep. Good shooting.